Do you feel it? A strange tension in the air, a sense of quiet before a great shift, an unexplainable feeling that things are about to change, perhaps violently. That feeling is a divine sign. It is a warning that a major storm is about to hit your life. Krishna sent this exact warning before a great tragedy wiped an entire civilization from the face of the earth, and you need to hear it today. This is not a message to create fear, but to inspire preparation. Great changes are often preceded by periods of unrest and subtle signs that something is wrong. Just as the ocean pulls back before a tsunami, life often gives us omens of an impending upheaval. Ignoring these signs, dismissing them as anxiety or imagination, is a grave mistake. The story of the Yadu dynasty, Krishna's own family, is a tragic and powerful lesson in what happens when these divine warnings are ignored. Their story contains the key to recognizing the signs of an approaching life storm and the one single action Krishna advises to find shelter and survive it. We live in a world that encourages us to ignore our intuition. We are told to be rational, to dismiss the subtle feelings and signs that the universe sends us. But spiritual intelligence requires us to be sensitive to these communications. Before a great storm comes, the atmosphere changes. The wind picks up, the sky darkens, the birds go silent. Similarly, before a great life storm, a job loss, a relationship ending, a health crisis, there are always spiritual omens. You might experience a series of unsettling coincidences, a recurring dream that leaves you with a sense of dread, or a sudden and uncharacteristic breakdown of communication with those around you. Small arguments escalate into major conflicts over nothing. A sense of discord and negativity begins to pervade your daily life. These are not random events. These are the spiritual winds picking up. They are signs that the foundational structures of your life are becoming unstable. The story of the Yadus is the ultimate cautionary tale. The Yadu dynasty were Krishna's direct relatives. They were powerful, proud, and lived under the personal protection of the Lord himself. They believed they were invincible, but their prosperity led to arrogance, and arrogance led to decadence. They lost their discipline, their respect for spiritual principles, and their reverence for the sages. Their society began to decay from the inside. The signs were everywhere. The younger generation became lawless and disrespectful. Their leaders became indulgent and complacent. Small internal conflicts began to fester, creating factions and mistrust. This was the darkening of the sky. A group of young Yadu princes, drunk with arrogance, decided to play a cruel prank. They dressed Krishna's son, Samba, as a pregnant woman and took him to a group of powerful sages who were visiting their city of Dwarka. They mockingly asked the sages to predict what kind of child would be born. The sages, who possessed immense mystic power, were not fooled. They saw through the prank and were enraged by the disrespect. Their eyes burned with spiritual fire, and they uttered a terrifying curse. They cursed that Samba would give birth not to a child, but to a giant iron club, and that this club would be the cause of the utter destruction of the entire Yadu race. This was the first clap of thunder, a direct and unambiguous warning. But did the Yadus listen? Did they repent? No, they laughed it off. The next day, Samba produced a giant iron club. The terrified King Ugrasena ordered the club to be ground into a fine powder and thrown into the ocean. The Yadus believed they had cleverly averted the curse. They held a party. They celebrated their own ingenuity, blind to the fact that you cannot cheat cosmic law. This is what we do. We get a clear warning, a bad medical report, a final notice on a bill, a partner's desperate plea for change, and we do the bare minimum. We take the pill, we make one payment, we offer a temporary apology, we grind the iron club into powder and think we have solved the problem, when we have only delayed the consequence. The fine iron powder washed up on the seashore and grew into a patch of sharp, blade-like reeds. A tiny piece of the club was swallowed by a fish, which was later caught by a hunter named Jara, who fashioned the metal shard into a deadly arrowhead. The curse had not been averted. It had only changed its form. The storm was now inevitable. The final days of the Yadus were marked by madness. Driven by a divine plan to relieve the earth of its burden, they held a great festival by the sea. They drank heavily, and their old festering resentments boiled to the surface. A drunken argument escalated into a brawl, and the brawl escalated into a full-blown civil war. With no other weapons at hand, they began to uproot the sharp blade-like reeds that had grown from the iron club, and in a terrifying frenzy, they slaughtered one another. They used the very remnants of their arrogant mistake to bring about their own annihilation. Krishna watched this happen. He did not intervene. This is a difficult truth to accept. There are some storms that are the direct result of our own karma, our own repeated refusal to heed the warnings. These storms are necessary to clear away that which is old, decayed, and unrighteous. The entire powerful Yadu dynasty was wiped out. The only action Krishna advised was for the survivors to seek shelter, to leave the place of destruction and take refuge in a holy place. The ultimate reveal is this: the storms that are coming to your life are often of your own making. They are the result of patterns of arrogance, disrespect, and neglect that you have allowed to fester. The universe sends you signs, small conflicts, unsettling feelings, direct warnings. If you ignore them, the storm becomes inevitable. It will come to destroy the old structures of your life that are no longer serving your highest good. You cannot stop a karmic storm once it has gathered its full force. But you can find shelter. The shelter Krishna advises is not a physical place. It is a state of consciousness. It is the shelter of humility, of prayer, of returning to spiritual principles. When you feel the winds of chaos beginning to blow in your life, do not get caught up in the madness. Do not join the drunken arguments. Do not pick up the blade-like reeds of anger and blame. Instead, retreat, go inward, connect with the divine. This is the only way to survive the storm with your soul intact. The destruction of the Yadus was a great tragedy, but it was also a great purification. The storm cleared the way for a new age. Your life storm, as painful as it may be, is also an opportunity for purification and renewal. It is a chance to let go of the arrogant, decayed parts of your life and build anew on a foundation of humility and wisdom. Pay attention to the signs, respect the warnings, and when the storm comes, do not fight it. Take shelter in the divine. If you feel this urgent message is for you, and you want to learn more about navigating the great changes in your life with spiritual wisdom, follow our channel. Your journey to a safe harbor begins now.